Hey there, I'm Yosh, and I wanted to walk you through the marketing plan that I'm putting together for Alpe Audio. And before diving into what I'm putting into play, I wanted to take a step back with why I'm rethinking my marketing plan in general. So at Alpe, what I have here going today is been kind of at $800 of MRR for the past 10, 11 months. And what happened here really, kind of at the peak, is that my co-founder, who had been working with me on Alpe for 2.5 years, decided that he's kind of tired of the startup grind, justifiably so. It's been a startup grind. And he left. And since then, I've been working on Alpe on my own. What that meant has been two things. One is just a huge lack of time resources. And the second one has been also funds to kind of invest. And that's one of the reasons why we've been plateauing here. That's kind of the good and the bad of Alpe. Is that the bad is that I haven't been able to increase the top of the funnel, grow downloads as much as I'd like. The good is that the retention for Alpe is pretty good. And that's why we've been able to maintain this $800, $850 kind of dollar MRR mark, despite it being a B2C app and just me working on it. That's because we have a good funnel, we have good retention at 6, 12, 20, 24 weeks, and also even out to 12 months, kind of way above average for B2C products. But that's what brings me to rethinking the marketing plan that I want to put in place. And it comes from a place of constraints and lacking resources, because also 2.5 months ago, I had to decide to put Alpe, instead of something that I'm working on full-time, is actually something that I'm going to be working on really part-time, nights and weekends. And that's just because $800 does not pay the bills. And so I started working full-time in crypto, doing tokenomics, token designs, things like that. And Alpe is my bootstrap kind of thing on the side now. And so the marketing playbook that I'm putting in place has to adjust for that. And the reason I'm going after marketing and not kind of the product itself is really because the product itself is good. It works. Basically, what we do is audio courses. So in-depth topics from A to Z. If you want to learn about product management or mindfulness or Shakespeare, creative thinking, prepare for case interviews or things like that, we've actually got great courses on all of those topics. We have around 35 different courses that you can learn on Alpe. And the retention of the core product is good. What is really problematic is the top of funnel. So that's what I want to tackle. And that's also where I think I'll get kind of the biggest bang for my buck. I could develop a lot of different new features, but that would take me a while. And I also don't know if they would impact the bottom line, and quote unquote, because the funnel is good, then I want to impact the top of the funnel. So let's kind of dive into what I have in mind here. And I'm going to start with this thread I wrote a month ago now, which is basically the marketing that I want to put in place is built around the content that we have it up. We have good content, and I want to repurpose it and utilize it as much as possible. So this is a thread where I basically outlined a few things that I'm going to be doing, which is focus on sharing the new courses that we have, repurposing. So the lessons we have, for every lesson, we have a summary, we have an audio lesson, we have flashcards, and trying to repackage and repurpose every lesson, but also repackage and repurpose every course, because every course is 10, 12, 14 lessons of really good in-depth content. And so trying to think about how to repurpose a course into maybe an email course, into a podcast, anything that I can then use to leverage on social media or via newsletter or YouTube channels and generate more distribution. So that's kind of the core idea. Number one is focusing on repurposing. The other part of that is on automation, how I can automate as much as that repurposing and then republishing as I can. And then the third is going to be product improvements. I think I'm going to do a separate video walking through the automation pipeline that I've built, which is pretty cool. And that's just going to kind of go through the content repurposing that I've already put into place, which has been very nice and it's impacted views. But I'm going to leave that for another video.